The Wimbledon final is over and we have our champion. It was game, set and match Djokovic. He defeats Nick Kyrgios in a quite closely contested 4-set victory and wins his 21st Grand Slam. So let's get into the reasons why he won this one. I'm Henry Tui, welcome to Post-Match Breakdowns, and subscribe if you love tennis. So just to start off with the kind of nerves and mental aspect of this game. Djokovic served first in this match, and he double faulted on the first point, which kind of set the tone for the first set, or at least the beginning of the first set, as he just played some very nervous, tetchy tennis, and he looked very tight. He hit an extremely poor second serve at 2-all at 15:30, just rolled it in, gave Kyrgios so much time to really load up on the return. And then he double faulted again that game to gift the break to Kyrgios, which is all he needed to win that first set. But credit to Kyrgios, everyone knows how explosive he is. He looked extremely focused and dialed in, especially in the first set, and was very calm, no muttering, and he really showed up to play, and he was at a very high level for the first set. He continued this into the second set, but there was a big mental turning point. A Hawkeye stat came up, which I found very interesting, that Novak had never broken Kyrgios before this match, and that changed in the 1-2 game in the second set. It was just very loose from Kyrgios. He was broken to love, and on that break point for Djokovic, he got a lucky net cord and it just kind of dropped over the net and Kyrgios couldn't get there. And I felt that would definitely affect Kyrgios mentally, which it did. There was a huge change going into the third. He had now lost his lead, it slipped away, it was 1-set all, and he just became very, very agitated, extremely angry with himself and the crowd, shouting, swearing, all of the Kyrgios antics. And I think it just came down to how much Djokovic was demanding of Kyrgios, the level that he had to play. But credit to him, the rage wasn't affecting his game too much. It did lead to a few more unforced errors, but his level was exceptionally high throughout the whole match. But comment below, who did you think would win this match, and what did you think the key was? I think a big key was the serve-return dynamic. Kyrgios at the start in the first set served very well. He was cruising, really. Kept Novak guessing with his placement, and put loads of pressure on Novak's return. He was using serve and volley very well and just being very clinical at the net. But as Djokovic does in any top-level player, he eventually got his eye in and started to return much, much better. Just made Kyrgios' games extremely difficult, a real headache just as the game went on and on and on. And just, it was as expected. He always gets another ball back, and it did start to break down Kyrgios' game. But the damage he was doing off the serves above 130 miles an hour was just ridiculous. The depth and angle that he created was just stunning. And on his own serve, he was incredibly reliable. He really did a lot of damage, getting a lot of free points and +1 opportunities. And the commentators said at 4-5 in the fourth set, the only 2 points that Kyrgios won on Djokovic's serve were double faults. So if the serve went in that whole set, basically, he won the point. And that is just crazy good. And he was just serving so intelligently as well. Served a lot to Kyrgios' forehand, and just found so much success there because it's a lot more erratic than his backhand. And it was quite smart by Djokovic to do that. And now onto the tactical points within the rallies. Djokovic did an incredible job of really pushing Nick backwards, really deep into the court. Especially on Nick's backhand side, just punishing him with great depth and power, pushing him back and back and back. And he was allowed to do this really because he was just absorbing Kyrgios' pace so well on the baseline, taking the ball so early and really rushing Kyrgios, leading to a lot of errors from his backhand, which is usually rock solid. And this pattern of play really exposed Nick to the drop shot, which he used with great effect throughout the match, and really disrupted Kyrgios' rhythm, even though he's not really a rhythm player. He's usually the one breaking it, not being broken himself. So it just allowed Djokovic to dictate a lot of play and keep Kyrgios guessing. And the Djokovic trademark was just unplayably good, really. His relentless pressure broke down Kyrgios' game slowly. He was just trying to shorten points too early and too much, and his kind of hyper-aggression led to a lot of errors because he knew he couldn't win the rally, so he had to shorten the points. But Djokovic, on the other hand, dialed up his aggression while making hardly any unforced errors, which was so impressive. And he just went to his classic lockdown mode, hardly giving anything away the entire match. And Kyrgios really kind of dissolved in the 4th set tiebreak. He turned to the exact opposite. He missed rally ball after rally ball and just gave away the tiebreak. And at that stage in the match, it was also giving away the match. So Djokovic just played a cleaner tiebreak, a much cleaner tiebreak. But overall, Djokovic really did his homework. The patterns of play to break down Nick and where to serve were impeccable, and he hit some unbelievable shots today. And it was just a fantastic match, and Djokovic narrows the head-to-head to 2-1, still for Kyrgios, and narrows the slam race to just 1 slam, as Nadal has 22. But there's a big question mark, as I said in my last video, about nobody really knows when he'll play his next one. There's question marks of the US Open and the Australian Open next year. But congrats to Nick for bringing such a superb level today, and I do hope this fuels his confidence. And I hope he can get here again, because it was a great show for the fans, even if his antics did become a little out of control, as they usually do. But I'm of the opinion that it is great for the sport. He is brilliant for the sport. He brings fans in, people who aren't even tennis fans watch him, because he's just such a magnetic personality, and you just can't help but watch him, because he's so entertaining. But comment below, what do you think of Kyrgios? And what did you think of the match and the level of both players? I'd love to hear your opinions. But thank you for watching, and subscribe if you love tennis.